This is Bill. He's worked hard to build a business, providing quality services and creating good-paying jobs. And he lives in the greatest state in the country. And this is Mary. She's a working mom with 2 kids and a beautiful home in the suburbs. And she also lives in the greatest state in the country. Look how happy they are. Bill and Mary depend on the fact that their elected officials are working together to grow Georgia's economy, making Georgia's proven business climate a premier destination in the global marketplace, attracting international businesses and growing businesses that already call Georgia home. And our economy depends on modern transportation infrastructure, from the world's busiest airport to the nation's fastest growing ports, to 4,500 miles of railroad, and the 10th largest road system in the nation. Together, it has connected our people, our businesses, and our state to the country and the entire world. Now, Georgia is at a crossroads. We have the opportunity to invest in Georgia's future, protect our progress, and create stability that will allow Georgia to continue leading the way in economic progress. But if we neglect transportation infrastructure funding, we will venture down a road of uncertainty, jeopardizing everything we've worked so hard to create. Let's take a closer look. There's currently a $1 billion budget gap for maintenance and modernization of Georgia's roads and bridges. But only 5% of the annual state budget is dedicated to roads and bridges. And only 2% of our road network is resurfaced every year. Worse, Georgia relies on the federal government for over 50% of its budget for transportation infrastructure. As a result, these funding deficiencies have created a maintenance backlog, causing Georgia roadways with a fair condition rating to decline by 20% in just 12 years. Also, over 4,000 bridge structures need to be replaced over the next 20 years, while traffic congestion in Atlanta consistently ranks in the top 10 in the nation. And railroad maintenance costs are projected to exceed $800 million over the next 20 years. So what does this mean for Bill and Mary? Let's say Mary is on the reinvestment route, while Bill finds himself on the road of continued funding gaps. Bill's business relies on the Port of Savannah for parts from around the world, rail lines to ship supplies across the country, and freight lines to connect his business to its customers. So while Bill is on the path of insufficient funding for transportation, those international parts may get delayed in transit, and those rail lines might not be so dependable, meaning Bill can't connect with his customers, and Bill's customers can't count on him. That's not good for Bill. What about Mary? While Mary is on the road of investment in Georgia's transportation infrastructure, she doesn't have to worry about Georgia's farmers and industrial centers being connected to local businesses. Keeping necessities affordable and dependable, so Mary's kids get everything they need to grow big and strong and make honor roll. And with safe, well-maintained roads and bridges, Mary and her kids can commute to school and work on safe, secure roads and bridges. So how do we follow Mary's lead and create sustainable transportation funding? The Transportation Funding Act is a comprehensive approach to creating economically viable transportation infrastructure funding. Together, these measures will create sustainable transportation funding, ensuring that Georgia continues to lead the way in economic development and global competitiveness, while also creating safe and efficient roadways for our people. More importantly, it's what the people of Georgia want. 66% of Georgians support the legislature taking action to raise the more than $1 billion needed to maintain and repair our broken infrastructure. We've worked so hard and come so far to make Georgia an economic engine of growth and prosperity. It's our responsibility to protect those investments in our economy, our jobs, and our families. That's why we need your support to increase the current level of investment, eliminate the funding gap, and decrease dependence on increasingly uncertain federal funds. It's time to bring Georgia's transportation and infrastructure system into the 21st century and answer the needs of all the Marys and Bills who make Georgia so great.